What's up, everybody? It's Tommy with Priceless Parlays. Today we're going to be going over UFC 314, giving a full card breakdown, going over who I think is going to win, and then also who I think is the safest pick for your parlays if you are into sports betting. I will say that this content is for entertainment and informational purposes only. Always gamble responsibly and only bet when you can afford to lose. If you do decide to follow any of these parlays we go over, just know that you are tailing at your own risk. UFC 314 in Miami. It's about time we had a good card. We've had some lackluster ones this last week. Josh Emmett versus Lerone Murphy. We made a little bit of money there. We hit on Sabatini decision and Lerone Murphy decision on our little two-legger last week. 2 weeks ago, we had Moreno versus Urseg. That's we actually hit a 9-leg parlay plus 5,000 odds. Don't know how long it's going to be before that happens again, but hopefully soon. We took Emmers versus Miranda under 2.5 rounds. Gautier by knockout. Martinez versus Oliveira to go under 2.5 rounds. Lupi Godinez money line. Lazy Boy versus Borjas over 2.5 rounds. Raul Rosas money line. Chairez money line. Torres versus Dober under 1.5 rounds. And Moreno by decision. So, for the first fight of this card, Nora Cornell versus Haley Cohen. I've been doing my research on these two this past week, and I don't see any way Nora Cornell does not get this done. I could see a decision. I'm leaning towards a knockout, which is plus 500 odds. It's kind of crazy. She's had 6 knockout wins, and Haley Cohen's 7-3, and 2 of those losses were by knockout. Nora Cornell's 8-2. Her only 2 losses are to Jacqueline Cavalcante, who's a beast. She's only lost by decision both those times. She hasn't been finished. I don't see how she doesn't get this done. The safest bet, in my opinion, is to take her to win money line. If you're feeling risky and you want to take underdog pick, take her by knockout. Haley Cohen's wrestling's a little bit sketchy. She's a plus 140 underdog. It's just I see Nora Cornell, even if she gets caught up in the wrestling, I see her finding a way to win and either winning by decision or knockout. So, yeah, I'm going to take the money line. We're going to build a 13-leg parlay off of this with the safest picks. Probably bet $1 or something. Nothing too crazy. But we'll go over that at the end. So the second fight of the night, Marco Tulio versus Trayshawn Gore. All right. Trayshawn Gore, I believe, is from somewhere near me. I want to say South Carolina. Could be wrong. Could be making that up. He's 5-2. He's a plus 290 dog. He's not going to be our dog of the week, though, because I'm pretty sure Marco Tulio is going to KO him in the first couple of rounds. Marco Tulio is 13-1 with 9 knockouts. I was loving this early in the week. He was a minus 330 favorite. Now he's a minus 410, so we lost a lot of value there. Trayshawn Gore, 5-2. He's been knocked out by Cody Brundage, and his only 2 wins in the UFC are by guillotine. And I don't see him jumping for the guillotine against Marco Tulio. Marco Tulio is probably going to get it done by knockout. It could go to decision, which is perfect because we have the Marco Tulio double chance on FanDuel. That's minus 185 odds. There's a chance that Marco Tulio could grab a submission on Trayshawn Gore. We saw Andre Lima do that to me a couple weeks ago. He was cruising to a decision, and the rear naked choke was right in front of him, so he took it. Costed me a little bit of money, but yeah, I see Marco Tulio getting it done by knockout or decision. And that double chance at minus 185 seems like the best value in this fight. But like I said earlier, if you wanted to get a little plus money going, Marco by knockout. That's the best underdog pick for this fight. Let's jump into Sumadarje versus Mitch Raposo. Okay, so Mitch Raposo. There's a lot of people online saying he's a live dog. He is. He's plus 138, 9-2. One of those losses to Andre Lima. But it was a pretty. It went to split decision. Shouldn't have been a split decision. Raposo lost that fight. Sumadarje, I recently rewatched his fight with Matt Schnell. The dude's got hands, man. Maybe not knockout power because he didn't knock out Matt Schnell, but the way he was moving around like a little 125-pound Conor McGregor. I like him, man. I like Sumadarje. I think he'll probably win this fight. It's gonna be really close. That's gonna be who I would pick to win. But as far as any parlays are going, I think the value's at over 2.5 at minus 190. These guys are both so tough and durable. They both go to decision a lot. I will say Sumadarje does have 13 knockouts. It's a little bit sketchy going over 2.5, but Raposo's just, he's tough, he's durable. I think he survives. But then on the other hand, Sumadarje's been submitted 6 times. Raposo's got 3 submission wins. I just feel like it's such a step up in competition. I don't see Sumadarje knocking out Raposo, and I don't see Raposo submitting Sumadarje, so over 2.5. And if you want to add an underdog pick to your parlay, Sumadarje by decision at plus 155. But I could see it being a split decision, so I'm definitely going to just stick with over 2.5 at minus 190. All right. I'm going to pronounce this one wrong. We're going to get into Michael Oleksiejczuk versus Cedriques Dumas. Oleksiejczuk, man, coming off of that Shara decision and Kevin Holland armbar, but he's got 14 knockouts. I've never seen it. I've never seen him knock anybody out. I don't know how many knockouts he has in the UFC, but he's got 14 knockouts in his career, and he's only got 19 wins. So the majority of the time, he's knocking fools' heads off, dude. So Cedriques Dumas, 10-2 with 4 knockouts. He's a slight underdog, plus 158. Oleksiejczuk's a minus 205. Because these two are probably going to be trying to knock each other's heads off in round 1, I don't feel comfortable taking Oleksiejczuk money line. He is my pick for who's going to win the fight. I do think he'll get it done, but I'm going to bet on this fight to end in knockout. I'm not going to take the over-under. On FanDuel, they have it at 2.5, and DraftKings, they have it at 1.5. I'm just going to play it safe here and bet on it to end in knockout at minus 115. I don't see a submission happening, and I doubt these two guys go to decision. It's possible, but I think ending in knockout's the safest bet. And if you wanted to add any underdog pick on this fight, I would say Michael Oleksiejczuk by knockout. Moving on. This is where I started to get excited. I'm excited about this one. How can you not be excited about this one? Darren Elkins versus Juicy J. Julian Erosa. Their records are pretty much the exact same. 29-11 and 30-11. So Darren Elkins is 29-11 plus 280 dog. Yeah, he's pretty close to being the dog of the week. But he's 40. He's 5'10". He looks shorter. He fights shorter. And Julian Erosa is 6'1". I don't know if the stats are wrong on that. I feel like Darren Elkins is like 5'7", but maybe that's all in my head. You basically got a finisher versus more of a decision guy. Darren Elkins has got 14 decisions. Julian Erosa's got 14 submissions and 11 knockouts. So I'm going to go against the grain here, and I'm taking Elkins' money line because he's just so durable. I mean, I'm sure Arosa could get him out of there, but not to mention Arosa's a minus 390. There's no value betting on him unless maybe you're going to bet on him by finish. Elkins is too much of a freaking dog to get finished, in my opinion. I'm taking Elkins money line at plus 280 in my safe parlay. In my safe bets. It's not very safe. This is why you don't want to tail. It's not very safe. But it pays out. And my underdog pick on this one, even though that is an underdog, is Elkins by decision. I don't see him putting Julian Erosa away unless he grabs a guillotine or something. Elkins decision's a plus 550. That's going to be in one of my long shot parlays that I'm going to go over at the end. But yeah, Elkins money line or Elkins by decision. And into probably my favorite fight of the night. Jim fucking Miller versus Chase Hooper. Jim Miller's 41 years old, and you guys are disrespecting him by making him a plus 540 underdog? Don't get me fired up. And Jim Miller is going to show Chase Hooper what grown man strength is. I hope. Chase Hooper's 25. When you've got a 41-year-old guy, and he's fighting these 32, 33, 34-year-old guys, these young men, right? He'll lose a lot. These guys will lose to these younger men on their way up. But Chase Hooper, in my opinion, is a boy. He doesn't have grown man strength. He's got like 6 or 7 more years before he's got that grown man strength. He's been knocked out in the UFC already, and he's got 8 submission wins in his career. So his clearest path to victory is submission. You're not tapping my boy Jim Miller out. He's not doing it. Jim Miller has only been submitted 3 times. Once by Charles Oliveira and twice by welterweights that were fighting down. So, yeah. And Jim Miller's got 21 submission wins. Jim Miller's going to submit Chase Hooper, I hope. This is not a guarantee. I don't know. I hope Jim Miller submits him, because you know what happened last time Jim Miller fought a 20-year-old jiu-jitsu prodigy? He almost ripped Charles Oliveira's knee off. He knee barred him. Oliveira came back and submitted him in the rematch. But Jim Miller's got 21 submissions, 7 knockouts, and he's been submitted 3 times. Chase Hooper ain't submitting him. Don't bet on Chase Hooper. He's a minus 950. You've got no value. I'm betting on Jim Miller. I'll tell you who not to bet on is Chase Hooper. I don't know. I can't tell you who to bet on. I'm betting on Jim fucking Miller. But I would say don't bet on Chase Hooper. There's no value there. He might win. He's probably going to win and break my heart. But there's no value there. I'm riding Jim Miller so high that you guys probably think that's my bet on this, my pick on this, my safe bet. It's not. My safe bet is for this fight to end in submission. Either one of the guys. If they get into a scramble, I could see Chase Hooper going for a leg and my man Jim Miller just hammer fisting him or elbowing him from the top, knocking him out. I could see Jim submitting Chase Hooper. I could see Chase Hooper submitting Jim. I see him taking his back. So my safe bet on this is for the fight to end in submission. But my underdog pick on this is Jim Miller. Inside the distance, double chance, knockout or submission, plus 900. It's my favorite pick. It's my favorite bet for this card, not because it's the most likely, it's the least likely. But I'm hammering it. Let's move on to Yan Xiaonan. I'm sure I messed that up. I just found out Vina Jandiroba wasn't Verna Jandiroba just a minute ago. Vina Jandiroba. She's 21-3 with 14 submissions. But Yan, I don't know, man. She got some pretty good grappling and some good hands. But she's been to decision 12 times. So if she can stay away from that submission threat, Vina is minus 156. Yan's a plus 122. She is a pretty decent underdog pick on this card. But but I am going Vina Jandiroba as my official pick of who's going to win. But in my parlays, I will be taking this fight to go over 2.5 rounds. I know Vina's going to submit anybody that goes to the ground with her in that division. Most anybody. I think that Yan will stay on the feet and make this fight go over 2.5 rounds. The underdog pick, though, is definitely going to be Vina by submission, plus 260. So, be adding that to our long shot parlay. And we will move onward to, this fight makes me very sad. Because I really like Dan Ige. And Sean Woodson is just, I don't know what it is about him. But I'm not the biggest fan. He's so good, though. He's so good. He's 6'2" at 145, which is ridiculous. And, he's so good. Minus 172 over my boy Dan Ige. Ige's 18-9. Woodson's 13-1. His only loss was by submission. We know Ige's not gonna submit him. We gotta hope Ige knocks him out. I don't know how he knocks him out. He can't reach his face. Body shot, maybe. I'm gonna see. I don't like betting against Dan Ige because he's the man. So I'm just going to take this fight to go over 2.5 rounds because Ige's never been finished. I can see him losing this decision. I kind of think that's the way it's going to go. Sean Woodson by decision. But just to be safe here, over 2.5. I don't know. Maybe Dan Ige will wrestle or something. Take it over 2.5 rounds and win a decision. Over 2.5. Minus 280. That's my safe pick for this one. Dan Ige by knockout is my underdog pick. I don't care. I can't help it, dude. If he just goes to the body, Woodson drops his hands, overhand, he could do it. Don't count on it. He could do it. All right, moving on to Nikita Krylov versus Dominic Reyes. Nobody's picking Reyes. Nobody. Did you guys forget? Did you forget what Dominic Reyes did? It just doesn't make sense. You guys are disrespecting Dominic Reyes. You're not disrespecting him as much as they're disrespecting Jim Miller with these odds, but I haven't heard of anybody picking Dominic Reyes. He's a plus 152 underdog. Nikita Krylov's a minus 200 favorite. I can see why. He's 30-9 with 12 knockouts and 16 submissions. He's a finisher. And Dominic Reyes has been finished in, 3 fights back to back after John Jones' decision loss. So I could see why Krylov's a favorite. I definitely don't see this fight going to decision. I see Krylov and Dominic Reyes banging it out in the first round and somebody going down. Now, the question is, if Reyes is the one that goes down, does Krylov punch him or choke him? I don't know. But my safest bet for this fight is under 2.5 rounds. Nikita Krylov's fought 39 times and he's only been knocked out once. So I don't know if Dominic Reyes will be able to find his chin. I want him to. That's what I want to happen. I like to see these guys face adversity. You think Dominic Reyes is done. Now all of a sudden he's on this resurgence. I love it. Reminds me of Jose Aldo, my favorite fighter ever. The resurgence is my favorite thing. So under 2.5. Don't know who's going to win this fight. That one's under 2.5 is a minus 144. The fight to end a knockout is a plus 145. So I'd say it's a little bit safer to go under 2.5. Pays out less. Gives you the option of Nikita Krylov choking Dominic Reyes if they hit the ground. So let's skip fight to end a knockout at plus 145 and let's stick with under 2.5 at minus 144. My underdog pick. Reyes by knockout, plus 410. It could happen. It could happen. Moving on to Yair versus Pitbull. I mean, there's two fights on this card that are very similar. We haven't got to the other one yet. But Yair and Pitbull, it's so hard to bet. We don't know what Pitbull can do against this level of competition. I mean, arguably, he's been fighting this level of competition in other organizations, but Yair is just so good right now. I've got to go Yair money line on this one, because I can't really bet on Pitbull in his debut because he could get octagon jitters, the really bright lights. I mean, he was a champion, so it's hard to say whether or not he is going to get that nerve-wracking feeling that these guys get when they debut. But Yair's a minus 205 favorite. Vegas thinks he's going to win. I think he's going to win. I don't think he finishes Pitbull. I think he wins a couple rounds. I think Pitbull will win a round probably. I think it'll be 29-28. I think probably later into the fight, Pitbull will realize that he can't get on the inside and try to take Yair down and do enough to win a round, but should be too late by then. Yair, money line. That's what I'm hammering. And Yair by decision is my underdog pick. And then we'll move on to Bryce Mitchell versus Gene Silva. I know what the world wants to happen here. I kind of want it to happen too. I like watching these fighting nerds just destroy everybody. It's great. Gene Silva's 15-2 with 12 knockouts. And Bryce Mitchell is 17-2, and his only ever losses are to Josh Emmett and Ilya Taporia. It's not a bad resume, man. But Gene Silva is a freaking dog. I think this might be the safest moneyline pick on the card, which is crazy, actually, because Bryce Mitchell looks so good. He looked good against Ilya. So it's hard to be so confident in Gene Silva, but his confidence is what's making me confident. The dude doesn't think he can be beaten. So I don't see Bryce getting it done. I see Bryce getting knocked out. Silva moneyline is the safe pick. Silva by knockout at plus 115. That's the underdog pick on this. Moving on. This is the other fight. Chandler versus Paddy Pimblett. This is the one that is similar to me to Yair versus Pitbull. And the reason why is because we've got Michael Chandler taking a step down in competition versus Paddy Pimblett, who's taking a step up in competition. So it's really hard to bet on this because of that, because I don't know how Chandler is going to react to somebody who's not as skilled as Charles and Dustin. And I don't know how Paddy's going to perform against somebody who's that experienced and who's that good. We haven't seen Michael Chandler be that good because of the level of competition he's fighting. But I think that this is Michael Chandler's opportunity to shine if he utilizes some sort of fight IQ. I mean, it's hard to say coming from me. It's hard to listen coming from me at my kitchen table to say that this guy who's been ranked in the top 10 for years needs to idolize or utilize some fight IQ. But he does. Jared Gordon paved the way to beat Paddy Pimblett and got robbed by the judges. Michael Chandler's a big enough name where he probably doesn't need to worry about getting robbed by the judges. Or, knock Paddy Pimblett out because his chin's up in the air. Jared Gordon couldn't do it. I feel like Michael Chandler probably hits harder than Jared Gordon. Jared Gordon paved the way. Somebody just follow up. You're probably thinking, why didn't Bobby Green follow up? But he couldn't. Yeah, Paddy Pimblett was too good. Michael Chandler is good enough to... He's Jared Gordon times 2. He's just super Jared Gordon. If he looks for Patty's chin and finds it, I could see Patty losing his first ever fight by knockout against Michael Chandler. And if Chandler goes chin hunting and gets countered and he's not liking it, shoot for the takedown. Do what Frankie Edgar did to Yair and what he did to Charles Oliveira. Take him down and ground and pound him. Do what Chad Mendez did to Conor McGregor, except don't go for a guillotine. Just elbow him in the face. If Michael Chandler utilizes some sort of fight IQ, he wins this fight by decision or knockout. Michael Chandler's my pick for this fight. My safe pick as underdog. He's my dog of the week. Jim Miller's my dog of the week because I'm betting everything on him. But I'm way more confident in Michael Chandler. He's the dog of the week. He's got 11 knockouts. He's just got to get back into croaking people. And I see him winning this fight. And my underdog pick is by decision because Patty's never been knocked out. I mean, he's had 25 fights. Nobody's been able to knock him out yet. Jared Gordon hit him with literally the kitchen sink. Dude was eating it, so maybe Scousers don't get knocked out. I don't know. Chandler, money line, decision for the underdog. And into the main event, Alexander Volkanovski versus Diego Lopes. I'm going Volk. I mean, the only way I see him losing this fight is if his chin is really gone. And I don't think it is. I think he fought somebody really big. I think he fought somebody really good. Somebody that he was looking like he might be better than. A lot of people think he won the first round. I thought he won the first round. And then he got caught. And I feel like if he fought Ilya again, he might get caught again because he's getting older. I think Volk's the better fighter out of all these guys. I mean, nobody on earth. I don't feel like there's another guy in the UFC in those weight classes that can beat Max Holloway 3 times in a row. I feel like if you gave Max Holloway to Khabib 3 times in a row, Max will eventually find a way to get it done. Volk's just got him figured out. And I think he's got pretty much everybody figured out except Ilya and Islam. So I think Volk will get it done. And here's how I think he gets it done. I think he gets it done by TKO in rounds 4 or 5. And the reason why I think that is because I see the way Volk starts to pick up the pace later on in the fights, like he did with Yair, and I see the way Lopes starts to slow down, like he did with Dan Ige. So if Lopes is going to knock out Volkanovski, I see him getting it done in rounds 1 or 2. And I see Volkanovski getting a finish in 3, 4, or 5. I don't think it goes to decision. It could. Obviously, anything could happen. It's MMA. But I'm leaning towards Volkanovski's minus 125. But yeah, I'm leaning towards Volk. My pick for this fight is for the fight to end in knockout because I think Lopes gets it done earlier. Volk gets it done late. And I have 2 underdog picks for this. And the first one is Lopes by knockout in round 1 or 2 at plus 650 odds. And Volk by knockout in rounds 4 or 5 at plus 1200 odds. FanDuel has an option for knockout round combos at the bottom. That's where you'll find Lopes knockout 1 or 2. And Volk knockout 4 or 5. So, I'm going to go over my 3-leg parlay that I'm hammering, that I think is easy money, that I could be wrong about. So, don't tail at your own risk. But I am going to be going with Nora Cornole, money line. Marco Tulio, double chance, knockout or decision, and Gene Silva, money line. The odds for that are plus 230. So you do a little bit more than double your money on that one. It's my safest 3-legger this week. But that's not what you want. You guys don't want the safe 3-legger. You guys want the long shot 3-legger but you're not going to like it today because it's a really long shot. But I'll tell you, it's Darren Elkins money line against Juicy J at plus 280. And it's Jim fucking Miller to beat Chase Hooper money line at plus 540. And it's Dominic Reyes at plus 152. Those odds are at plus 6,028. That's my long shot 3-legger. But what I will be doing every week is I will be betting $100 to try to win $100,000. This might never happen, and it might happen this week. Who knows? But what I will say is I will be giving away $5,000 if that parlay hits, if any of those parlays ever hit, to one subscriber who likes and comments on this video. If this $100, $100,000 parlay hits, that lucky person will be getting $5,000 from your boy. Now let's take a look at what that parlay is. Don't get excited. This is kind of wild. It's going to be Nora Cornell, money line. Darren Elkins, money line. Krylov versus Dominic Reyes to end in knockout. Michael Chandler by decision. And Jim fucking Miller inside the distance. That's plus 101,275 odds. It ain't going to happen. But if it does, I'm going to be looking out for one of you guys. I did want to point out that DraftKings has an option for alternate double chance of victory. I don't think it's even fair how much that increases your chances of winning a parlay. Dan Ige and Sean Woodson is one of my favorite ones. You can do Dan Ige by knockout or Sean Woodson by decision. Minus 310 odds. I don't see how that doesn't smack. I'm going to put a little bit on that. When you go into DraftKings, you would want to click on the fight, go to winning method, and scroll down to alternate double chance. That's where you'll find bets like that. Nikita Krylov and Dominic Reyes. Krylov by decision or Dominic Reyes by knockout. It's plus 125 odds. I'm probably going to dabble on Bryce Mitchell by decision or Gene Silva by knockout. It's minus 275. I think that if Bryce Mitchell were to find a way to get it done, he'll do it the same way Pat Zavattini did to Joe Anderson Brito last week and just hold him down. Michael Chandler by decision or Patty Pimblett by submission. That's a plus 120 on there. That's a good one. And lastly, Volkanovski by decision or Lopes by knockout at minus 135. I'm going to be posting some shorts on some of these 3-leg parlays on my Instagram and TikTok at Priceless Parlays. And until next time, this is Tommy with Priceless Parlays. Don't forget that this is for entertainment and informational purposes only. Don't gamble if you can't afford to lose. We'll see you guys next time.